Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Any questions from our previous session? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this ClickView thing, I'm not sure this editor, this is like a standard font based on the resolution. I mean, if I increase the resolution, then I think it's gonna be too much out of place. So let's see this.
The previous session, few sessions were good, but the thing is, 6th and 10th, the 11th, those recordings are having like compressed videos, like you can say a compressed screen.
Oh, okay. What format is it? Oh, I mean, are you downloading the videos or you're just watching it online?
We're downloading.
Yeah, downloading it.
What file format is it? Okay.
Some
What
are
file format is it?
MP4 and some are WMV and some are MP4.
Okay. Okay, let me see. I think it's about the file format also. So I think the MP4 plays pretty small. I'll just check with them not to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will see.
Yeah, I think so. MP4 format is creating a problem, I think so.
Right. So I'll ask them to convert it only to WMV and send it to you. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Yesterday we saw that. Okay, how do we do incremental load? We saw two things. One is just adding new records to the existing QED, or creating or updating new records as well as the old updated records. Now, along with this, Let's see if this is okay.
Yeah.
It will be something like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, thank you.
Here we change the font here.
It was fine.
Yeah, here it is like based on every chart object. So okay. So last class session we saw how do we update it. It's like I mean, an important thing step to manage it, as well as it's a little complicated step to manage also. So you can't have or you can't delete. So suppose your database has like this, right? So your database is like this is your database. We have records 1 to 82 records. Now what they do is they simply go ahead and delete the complete record. So there are two methods of deleting. One is they just go delete the whole thing. Suppose they go ahead and delete these 5 records. That means they are deleted from the system. That's all. They're gone. Now generally it doesn't work out that way. What happens is there is a delete flag which is created. So always in a database, most probably to make sure they don't lose out on old data or historic data, either they create a delete flag in the same table, or they will create another table saying, okay, these are the deleted records, which will be gone from this table but over there. Now suppose this is the delete flag. They update 5 records as deleted. So you need to have this kind of a flag that they are deleted, and you save this. Now while loading in ClickView, so you make sure you load those, you drop off those deleted records from the QED that you're loading. Now that's why it becomes a little complicated while loading it from the QED. So the first process is same thing, events table. If there is any modified date, max of or anything, you find out and you load this. Now the challenge becomes of is when it is not deleted. So before loading this, you will have to make sure that you are dropping off all the deleted records. So you will have to load this events table, the second. So whatever this file we are seeing, right, you will have to load this as the second file. This is the problem with the deleted records. So let's see here. First you'll have to manage the deleted records, then you'll have to, in the same file if you have the changed records, then you'll have to manage the change records. The same kind of functionality, you'll have to load this table again. Okay, so the events table. I'll name it as deleted. Okay, over here you go ahead, bring the table file. I have the deleted flag too, right? Finish. Now I will bring only the records which are deleted now. First I'm going to bring only the records which are deleted, where deleted is equal to 1. Events table. Now over here I'm going to say where not exist. So I'm dropping off the deleted flag. This I will pass it to events QED1. This is in my memory. Okay. I'm gonna drop off the deleted table. Drop. So what happens is, first I'm loading all the deleted records. Once the deleted records, I know which are the deleted records, I'm not loading them from my existing QED. From my existing QED, when I load the records which are not deleted, I mean except for the deleted, I'm loading all the other records, I'm storing it in events table. Now, not events table, sorry, I'm storing it in events QED. Now the second time I load the events table. Now this time it's not about the deleted records that I load. This time I will load records which are modified. Okay. And deleted flag is not there. Or even if I don't mention the deleted flag, it's okay. Now I'm loading whichever has the greater mod date. Now instead of going back to the QED and loading, I will do a resident load again with using a where not exist from the memory itself, because I've already created a table, right, with the records which eliminating the records which are deleted. So I'll have to go back here. Okay, this big screen, big font is troublesome because I'll have to scroll all the way up. Then I'll have to drop table. I'll have to store events table. So I'm doing 4 times. I'm just gonna decrease the font for a couple of, so that you can get a clarity as to what we are doing in the script. Okay, this I think is becoming very small. So if you see, first what I'm doing is I'm loading all the deleted records. The records which are flagged as deleted, I've loaded that. Using that, I got, okay, these are my, from the events existing QED, I'm getting the records, eliminating the deleted records. Now, again in the events table, I'm loading it from the data source. I'm loading all the data that is modified. Now, I will get even the deleted records. When a deleted flag is created, a modified date is created. So it is okay. I will get the deleted records here. It doesn't matter to me. Here what will happen is, I am reading it from the memory, so which is the events table, events QED table that I've created here. Now this table has already eliminated deleted records, so I don't have to worry. Now when I use the where not exist again on this table event ID, so it will bring me only this records that are required, which have been modified or edited. That's all. So using that, I can run. So it's like a 2-3 time effort that you'll have to put for a deleted record. Unless you have this flag, you will not be able to control deleted records. You need to have a deleted flag for whatever it is.
So,
or even
I have a question actually.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If they are deleted, why am I bringing them in? What's the point of bringing them in? If they are deleted from the database, so they are deleted, right?
Yeah, they're deleted in the database, but we have to delete it in the QED, right? So we have a QED which is stored every day. So like today you loaded 80 records. So your previous records were 80. So what happens is, suppose your QED, so like yesterday's QED was 80 records. Now today in the database, right, in the database also it was 80, but today in the database they deleted 5 records, so it became 75 records after deletion. Now in my QED also I need to have only those 75 records, right? Plus they would have changed any records or updated records, those have to be updated. So if there is a deletion, what I will do is, so I will first find out which are the records. There are two ways of doing it. If the records are flagged that they are deleted, it is easier method to get the smaller number of records and then manipulate. If your records are not flagged, they are just blindly deleted completely from the database, then you will have to follow a different method. But most of the best practices always have a, the databases generally have a flag that, okay, these are the records that are deleted. Now use that from the QED, just load those 75 and drop off those deleted records. So first step, I'm loading only the records which are not deleted. Now second step, what I do is I load the records which are these are not deleted. I will load the records which are modified or updated or new, right? So whatever, maybe 5, 10, 0, whatever. Second, what I'll do is I will use the not deleted 75 and compare whether anything is changed and then bring those 75 here. If 0 is changed, then it will be 75 only. Now these two put together will form my new QED. Both of these put together will form my new QED. Let's see how this fares. Okay, there's one more thing I forgot. All these loads have to be no concatenate because we are dealing with exactly identical column names. Everything is getting concatenated basically. This one is fine. This one is concatenate load only. I deleted the old file, so now, so by mistake I deleted all the source QED that we have created. So this calls for a full reload. So I'll have to comment the day 1, day 2, and comment the day 1 and create a full reload file. So I'll say event stable 2. So 82 lines fetched. Now let's see how the deleted records. Now day 1 full reload is done. Comment it off. You can write a complex query to handle this day 1, day 2, right? But I prefer it to be the most simpler way because you'll have more control. So you know when to run the day 1, when to run the normal road. So there will be no confusion, okay, which executed or what happened. Table deleted. So this is no concatenate load mod date is greater than. Okay, something is wrong with the script. Let me just check. Okay, this calls us for debugging. So let me just cover the how to debug this. So now I have the script. I have built a long script. Now my confusion is what is happening at which stage, what table is running. And I have a variable over here. So I want to understand what is being passed to the variable. Right? I have declared multiple variables over here. I want to observe it. So one way of doing it is I can go to debug. So under debug you have a couple of options, run, animate, step. Now you can, when you say run, entire script will run through just like a normal thing. So it will just run. It will fail. I mean, it is just running the script. Now, in debug only, there are a couple of other options like you saw. It's giving a type T inconsistency error. Then you can animate. So animate is like it will go step by step. So you can easily watch that. On top is your script window. Here is what script is being executed. Here is what is happening exactly, just like the editor. On the right hand side is what the data is coming out of. So it's basically whatever you're applying. If you look at it, vmax date that I'm using is passing as null. Right, that's why this where mod date greater than is null. So my concern is why is it null? That is how you find out, troubleshoot it. So basically because of that your entire load is failing. So if you want to go step by step, right, over here, so if you step into also, you can go step by step, one record at a time or one script line at a time. So you know that file name 2 is right, but max state is being null. So what is the max state? So events table 2. I think that QED is mod of max state. So events table 2 is being fetched with 0 lines. Okay, so I have, when it's the same file, it's strange, why is it not? Okay, I'll just cancel it here. Let me just see why this is not bringing the right data. I'll have to bring in that events table to QED. Oh, okay. So this events table 2 does not have any data. So technically our day 1 QED has not created anything. Store it as events table 2. Okay, no, CSV. This is 82 records. Okay, now it is done. But no records given. So we'll debug that. So like I said, you can go now step by step. So you can verify what is happening. So now this table is giving me again 0 lines. So my Vmax date is again null. Okay. Okay, the first time I executed, I got the dates. What has happened is because there were no new records, or after that deleted, right, my deleted script is not updating the right number of records into the table. So I think that's why it's not taking, yes, not what it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of my this where not exist is not working. The internet events table. Fine, then I'll figure it out. So basically, that's what. So first, find out the deleted, exclude the deleted, then load it again with the modified, and bring in the only the modified records or updated records. So that is the only thing that we can do now. Yeah.
I think I think you are
In fact, you
working.
don't have
You
to
are working from one tape. That's why.
No, I
The
think
event.
what I am doing is
Yeah, you are changing
what
the
I can
script
do.
here. In the script here, but in the
No,
database already deleted it.
or moderate. So what I can do is, so okay, I just flash to me now that I can do this over here. So I have this mod date. So this where mod date is greater than this clause, I can update it while getting the deleted records. So this is the deleted records. I'm getting whether where there is a delete flag 1 or mod date is greater than vmax date. So from the existing QED that I have, my old QED, I'm dropping off all of those and bringing only those new only the records that are neither updated nor deleted. So only those records I'm getting from the existing QED. Now in the third event, what I'll do is I'm gonna bring in the table over here. From the database, again, I'm just going to bring the updated records and concatenate it to the events table. Okay, sorry, I think I should have done this earlier on. Then I don't need this step. I don't need this step actually. So there are only 3 steps now I'm doing. So first is I'm bringing in all the deleted records where the delete flag is 1 or the modified is greater than vmax date. Suppose I have 5 deleted and 2 modified. So I get 7 records. Out of the 7 records, I will see from the existing QED, I will eliminate those 7 records. Whether updated or deleted, I just leave that. Now, I drop that, whatever that events table that I do. Now in the third load, I go back to my source data and I bring only the data which is modified and not deleted. So if the delete flag, wherever the delete flag is not equal to 1. First I bring delete flag which is equal to 1. I drop off those records. I don't really want them. And I say deleted flag not equal to 1. Now this, suppose like I said, 5 deleted, 2 updated. Now this file is, this query is going to give me only 2 records which are updated. Now these 2 records, I will append it to my normal data events table. This events table, I'll store it into events table to QED. Now this way, I will not have any challenge.
Can you go back to
Deleting a
your
couple of fields, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the deleted section. What to find that one, that one, that one. That one is the event table.
1 second, sorry. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, can you scroll down? Let me have a look at the events table. Yeah, over there, that one. So it says you bring a magix ID, not exist. Can you scroll up again? A little bit, like the one in the middle.
The day one table and day two table are the same. This one. The day one table and day two tables are the same. The database.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
you
explain
bring
one thing now.
this one, file name, that we are using that variable there. Is that the variable is right? The events table. Do you know that? Are we supposed to use the variable that we $ in the from line 38? Are we using that?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
this is right. We are using it.
Are you
So
using?
here I've defined it as 2, right? 2.
Okay, 2. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, not that one. So we'll bring the second one, and then here we are not existing above.
We're not exist event ID name.
Even
Now
existing.
I drop off the deleted table. So this is the first deleted table that I do, right? So I drop off that table, and then I'm loading from the source data again the records which are updated only. So here I'll have to load it twice from the data source. That is one challenge.
So make it like
that I have to.
You get what I mean? Yeah. So to make it useful, if we can fix this one, that is
Delete forever.
so that it become more useful. And currently they manually do it. That would be good. And the bug is already there.
Okay, can you go back to day one?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This table is okay.
Storing it into events table 2. So what I'll do is when I reload it, so 82 records are updated.
Yeah.
So let's.
I see. That is a good process. That is a very good process. Yeah.
This is one of the challenges. What happens is the QEDs get locked when after reading with some files. So
The hierarchy of
if you're not able to really change or replace the QED, your script fails when you're doing store. Then technically your QEDs are locked, so you can look at it. Now, okay, first day 82 records fetched, so this is done. Now I have my 82 records. Now what I'll do is day 1 comment. Now day 2 uncomment. My first objective is in my day 1 now out of the data.
So they say that
5 records are right, and suppose if I add 2 more records, like I was telling, so 5 records deleted, 2 records added. My max date is 3/14/2012, and my 2 records are 83 and 84. I have to make sure that I have to subtract 5 records, right? Add 2 records. So that's what it does. So I find out the vModified date. So first thing I do is I load all the deleted records. That is 5 records will load this delete one, and mod date is going to load me 2 records. So I get deleted and modified. I get 7 records. Now those 7 records I will eliminate from the events table. So my existing QED, day 1 QED, right? This is my day 1 QED. I'm deleting it. Now I drop off this first table that I load.
Isn't that day 2 table?
Events
table 2. Events table 2 isn't it? day 2? Not that one.
I mean, table 2 is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
It's
so
the
you're
one which I
reloading.
created on the first day.
Just okay. Okay, so that is the so we are creating. We are loading only not deleted and not modified records from here. This one, right? So that is going to be
From
one
the
table.
existing QED.
Yeah.
From
Then
the
from there,
existing
what we
QED.
need to is we need to add only modified records from the top. From here, the component is only modified one, which is that yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Looks alright. So maybe okay. Can you reload? Let's see. Maybe you
So what happens is,
oh, it works now. Yeah.
right. So I get from the events table I get 7 lines. From the
Yeah.
events table 2 I exclude from those. I mean, if I eliminate those 7 lines from the events table, I'm getting the 77 lines. Right. And from here, now my existing, I add those 2 records, so it becomes 79.
Yeah. Yeah.
The issue comes when you flag it, when you modify and flag, right?
Right. 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 Right.
Okay. Now, when you flag this table, don't reload it again on day 1. This was the problem. I think you really reload this table again after you flagged it.
No,
This was
what will happen is I have not flagged it now. Now I have not flagged. There's no changes in my data. Right, my data is still 84. I have not flagged anything.
right.
So earlier the final table was blank. That's why the Vmax date was blank. It was failing. Now I'm not doing anything, right? So the events table 5 records. Out of that 5 records, I mean technically the last. So if you look, you observe this, right? So my
Right.
last store is 79 records. Now the events table has been marked as deleted, but we have already deleted those lines, right? That's why this 79 is untouched. Now I'm not making any change. I still keep reloading. Then my final result will still be 79. So it won't go. It won't do anything. So it will reload because there are no changes. Nothing will happen. I think I got a little. I tried to do something else. I think that earlier script didn't work well. So I think this is the logic. I mean, this is one of the preferred logics. Now this was incremental. So you just go ahead and practice it. Let's see how. Yeah. If you have any questions or challenges, do let me know. Now while we are loading our database table, right? So this is our database. I mean, this is our data model. Sorry, this is our existing data model. I have created we created this data model. Now you realize as a developer, okay, this is not a real-time or a production scenario that you can work on, but as a developer, you realize that you have the ship method ID, right, or special offer ID. Have we loaded special offer ID? No, we have not loaded. Now you realize that special offer ID is only an ID, and you spend half an hour or like 45 minutes reloading this entire data, and you think that, okay, no, I need the special offer ID, ID name, everything. So you need the detail for that. That's the basically the dimension that you need. Exactly, that's special offer ID. But then string. Do you see a special offer ID? Okay, it's here, it's here. So I realized that I need the description for special offer ID. Special offer ID is just an ID. So I need the description, and the description is in another table. Now you have already spent 1 hour reloading this entire table, and you don't want to spend another hour. When you want to add a new table, it gets into another loop, right? So you'll have to do an entire refresh. So what ClickView did was, this is only for when you're doing production, okay? Sorry, when you're doing development. What you can do is, you can go ahead, so we have special offer ID. Yeah, we have special offer ID. So I have the special offer ID, description, discount price, finish. Right? You can just delete a couple of them which I don't need. Say special. Now to load this, I have to do a full reload, right, as a developer. Now if my full reload is taking 1 hour and is going to consume my time, is not a good idea. So what ClickView did was, it brought in a keyword called add. Okay. So there is a keyword called add and replace. So I'll come to replace, I'll add. I added the keyword, I said okay. Now when I come back to this main UI, under file, there's something called as partial reload. Okay. When I hit the button of partial reload, ClickView is gonna load only the data that is there after the keyword add. So the table that was there after the keyword add was special offer. So it executed only that table data. All the other existing data is still intact. So it is the same old data. Only thing is that special offer ID, the new one, is added. Yeah, it created synthetic loop. So we'll take care of that loop, not a problem. So it's created the special offer ID. Right. So I'll say now this is one. This is only a one-time thing. Add is a one-time thing. Now second time I go ahead and do again a partial reload. What ClickView will do is, suppose there were 10 records in this special offer ID table, right? So there are 16 records. Okay, there are only 16 records. Now second time when I do a partial reload, ClickView is just gonna blindly gonna add, okay, some unique names it is giving me. Is blindly gonna add the 16 records to the 16 records. First let me demonstrate, then I will discuss about this. I do a partial reload. It's just gonna add 16 plus 16 and made it a 32 record table. So whatever existing records is there, it's gonna add to that. So the add keyword can be used only once in your development project. So you use again add for the same table. It's gonna say 16 plus 16. It's gonna add those number of append the record, data record. So you actually can't use this as your kind of a continuous thing. As a production scenario, imagine if you keep doing partial reload, add is just gonna do a add. Now what is the scenario where I want to rename? So I have added the table, right? I have added the special offer ID table, but my names are not right. So I am renaming them, but I can't add it. So I'll have to replace the table. So similar to add, there is another keyword called replace. Okay? There are only two keywords, add and replace. So when you say replace, save it. Now you do a partial reload. Now that entire table is going to get replaced. What's wrong with this? So go ahead and do a partial reload. So 16 records, it's done. If you go here, special is getting replaced by whatever it is. Really weird of what is happening to it. Now if I want to reset that entire thing, I just have to reload the whole thing. Once I've done this, so now the table is not there only. So special offer ID table is not there. So I'll have to first add it to replace it. So I go ahead and reload. Now what happens is when I have the keyword add and I hit, by mistake I hit the whole complete reload button. So ClickView will ignore the add button and do a normal reload. In that the special offer ID also got reloaded. So when the add or replace keywords work only when you use the specific partial reload option. So there is a reload option, there is a partial reload option. So when you use a partial reload option, ClickView is gonna run only that script or that table where the add keyword is there. So it's only for the table, it's not for a specific script. So if this is the table that you want to add, so you add that keyword over here, only this table is going to get added. Nothing else is going to get executed. Now similarly, if you want to replace this, save it, reload. I reloaded it again. When I do a partial reload, it will just replace that special offer ID with the 16 records. Now replace can be used continuously, so you can keep doing partial reload. What it will do is it will just drop one table, upload this thing. But add and replace is recommended or advised only during the development stage. So you can't put this on a server. Any questions? Logically, if you look at our curriculum, so this was our development cycle. So I think we have covered most of whatever was pending. So there is one security overview, security bit as to how to build data security into ClickView. So when a user logs in, right? So when a user logs in for territory 1, he should be able to see territory 1 data. When he logs in for territory 2, he should see. Okay, I'll do that. So tomorrow we'll cover the security bit, and then I think we'll be good with the development module. So we'll slowly move to the designer end.
Also so it pretty much covers everything we should know.
Right, for development, yes.
In development, okay. Can I have a question? A question not just related. This is not really related to development. Have you ever used ETL tool before, like SSIS or Pentaho ETL tool, to the ETL process rather than script in ClickView? Have you ever? Are you familiar with the other tools? Because the question when I first heard about the ClickView and I read about it, when I watched and when I talked to one of the consultants downstairs, we actually have a consultant right 2 levels below our building now. I talked to them. They say ETL is done in a script, and I was like, oh, really? I know. I mean, I've been using like stock procedure and all these things to do ETL before quite a long time ago. But now I cannot live without ETL tool, actually, SSIS. So I've been talking to them, like, it's really like practical, is really, and I know that ClickView has the ETL tool more graphical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's imagine that we have tables. Let's say I want to bring, even if I want to build, student activity table, activity like fact table and or some dimension, I have to talk to 200 plus tables. Okay, would you do it in ClickView? That kind of ETL, because the thing is we have different reason, and we have, let's say for the user table, and user profile table, user detail table. We have 2-3 tables, and I have to talk to 18 tables because they are still in a same structure in 18 different regions, all right? Different databases. So you have to multiply 18 multiplied by 3. Just bring the user table, user information. 18 multiplied by 3 tables, which is the 55. I have to talk to 54 tables to bring the data in, just for the user. Just for the user. So I was thinking, like, in script, could you do it? I don't think it's practical, but so I insisted we're going to have a data warehouse. We have a separate process to pull the data and centralize it. And
no,
that's
if you
what I'm doing right now.
If you already have a data warehouse, then you can leverage that. So the actual suggestion. Okay.
Yeah.
If you sorry, go ahead, complete it.
Yeah, the thing is this. Well, because one of the consultants we talked to was so convinced that we don't need to do data warehousing, and I wasn't convinced at all. So that's why I pushed through this idea, and we are doing it right now. But that's why I really wanted to talk to you. Probably want to ask you if this is like you think, okay, oh no, ClickView can do that. That means we have to talk to a few thousand tables. Actually, in ClickView, bring the to do the ETL process in ClickView. So I think this is going to be really, really huge script. That's how I say it. Or am I missing something? Am I missing something? And in ClickView, there's such a, in script, is maybe there's a way to simplify all this process to bring all this record, and then not to mention I have to do the slowly dimension change in some of the SCD to slowly changing dimension as well. I have to do all these things, and I wasn't thinking, is it real practical to in scripts? And I don't know, I was told that everything can be in script. So what's your thought? Or how would you recommend?
It's like the whole idea of ClickView is like the consultant did tell you. It's like the whole idea or the best part of ClickView is you don't need an ETL tool. Now, if you already have built a data warehouse, so if you already have built one data warehouse, you can leverage it. So you don't have to scrap it, or you just don't have to move to ClickView directly. But if not, if you are gonna invest money on it, or if you're gonna invest time building it, you would rather do that in ClickView. So the ideology is basically, if you are gonna start now building the data warehouse, so obviously you will end up writing scripts, stored procedures, right? You are, even if it is SSIS or Pentaho, I have extremely worked on Informatica. So I am
okay. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with the product.
Right. Okay. I'm very much inclined as a ETL tool. I'm very much inclined to Informatica and kind of expert on it. Now it's like a two-thought process now. If you are gonna start building the data warehouse now, writing the scripts in SSIS or Pentaho, you'd rather do that in ClickView. So you convert these queries and manage them over here.
Yeah. The thing is I'm not writing script in general, like in SSIS, right? Pentaho. Usually it's more graphical, right, tools. And it's more it's more scalable, more manageable, and I can, that's how I say it. Well, I just want to hear your thought on because I'm building the warehouse now, and it's about, I'm thinking it's only 10% finished, right? So I want to move forward, see if I run ClickView, say, okay, and if does ClickView can handle all these things, I don't have to build the warehouse. Probably that will be the fastest way to get things going. So this was just
I
want
would
to hear
suggest if you're like if you're starting now building the data warehouse, I would rather suggest that go ahead and invest the same amount of time in ClickView. You'll be able to build it and you'll be able to scale it easily. So it's not that complex or challenging. So the amount of time, even while you're doing graphical, so you're right, in the ETL tool it's more graphical. But if you look at the logical, like the complex things really have to be done at script level. Though, I mean, those are, there is certain amount of scripting and logic Now, in the ETL also, you're building nothing but logic. Though it is a graphical representation,
Yeah, yeah.
you're building some logics over there. So I would suggest go ahead and like fix that.
Try
You have
on.
seen that ClickView, ClickView scripting. It's not that very complex to do things that you want to do. So
I noticed that like some of the things I found that wow, that's pretty. I can see like some of the features you made like automatically joining the table and dropping and incremental loading. I looked at it, so I find it quite interesting. It's much simpler. It makes the process simpler. I can see that. But I was
Exactly.
curious, like, maybe something I should think about more.
Yeah, you can start investing your same amount of time in this and build it. If you have already built a data warehouse, then don't redo it again. So leverage the same existing data warehouse.
Yeah.
But the data warehouse also comes at a cost, right? So you already have invested in ClickView. Rather than investing on a data warehouse, I would suggest, okay, go ahead and invest your time here. It will be more fruitful, basically. It's going to be a little time consuming, but I think the time is more less expensive than building a data warehouse. And time to build a data warehouse is, again, huge, right?
Yeah,
so you'll have to do double, twice, or thrice, then you'll have to do that. So I think, that's the school of thought process that the consultants come in. So when they say they don't need data warehouse, yes, even I am convinced that for ClickView we don't need data warehouse. But I don't suggest it. Like, it depends on the situation. So if you have a data warehouse, please use it. If you don't, and if you are starting to build now, I don't think that it is required. That's the thought process.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right then. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the security, and then we'll start off with a designer version of it.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks everybody. Thanks Alpana. Thanks Saif.